Week 8 of the 2025 NFL season is here. The best way to describe this season so far is consistently inconsistent. This is your only place to get your 13-leg, low-stakes, high-reward moneyline parlay. This is the Sunday script. All right, everyone, welcome back. Week 8 of the NFL season and week 8 of the Sunday script. We're 2 months in, almost halfway done with the season. Last week, we went 9-6. Like I said, this season has been a crazy one, a whirlwind. Consistently inconsistent, right? Upsets. Our team's good, our team's bad. We know who the bad teams are, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
We know who the bad teams are, and it's kind of weird because they all kind of hail in the AFC this year.
That's always been like that. AFC always sucks.
Yeah.
Besides the Chiefs.
The bottom half of the AFC sucks, but the top half, we'll see. But like I said, last week we went 9-6, but we know that this week will be better because we did a deeper analysis, a deeper dive. 13 legs this week. But with that, we'll get into it. With the good old-fashioned Thursday night rinse, which has been a real damn rinse.
Yeah, dude, we've been rinsing.
As Pop Smoke said, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
He's also said some other things that I can't
he
spit
said
into this microphone. But
doesn't say anything anymore, though.
No, he does not anymore.
No.
But this is the first non-divisional game on Thursday Night Football this week. We got the Vikings going into SoFi to play the Chargers. Chargers are at -3, so they're giving them that home favorite. After starting 3-0, the Chargers are now 4-3, so the division is slowly falling from their clenches and going towards the Chiefs' favor. We'll get into the Chiefs later here, right? But the Chargers should not have to play catch-up this week with the Vikings like they did last week against the Colts. Colts kind of came in and stomped them. We predicted a closer game than it was, but we'll also get into the Colts later here too, right? So Herbert throws for 400-plus yards, which is a box score enthusiast wet dream, you know? You see that stat, you see those stats, and you think, wow, Herbert had a great game. But when you're playing catch-up like that and you can't run the ball, then, of course, you're going to have 400-plus yards, right? And then with that, the Vikings have the second-best pass defense in the league, which involves, of course, a combination of their D-line and their secondary. But A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith kind of took advantage of that last week, too, right? Mm-hmm. But with Joe Alt limited, do we see the Vikings defense kind of just come into SoFi and handle Herbert pretty well? We'll have to see, but the Chargers have struggled defensively as well. So they allowed Jonathan Taylor to 3 touchdowns, 100-plus scrimmage yards, but a lot of teams are doing that right now. And the biggest issue with the Vikings is their quarterback play this year. Like we've said in previous weeks, maybe they should have stuck with Golden Boy, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we said that.
We've said that, and that's going to come and bite them in the ass, we think. We don't know what's going on with J.J. McCarthy. I don't think the Vikings do either. It seems like he's fully healthy, but it also seems like they're just trying not to play him. Mm-hmm. So that's an iffy situation there. Looking like Wentz will get the start, and you know what it is with the Carson Wentz roller coaster, up and down, up and down. It's not really a fun ride either. You can ask Eagles fans that. You can ask Colts fans that. You can ask football team fans that, right? The highs are very high and the lows are very low. And the Vikings got to travel to L.A. on that short week. Chargers at home. This is a get-right game for the Chargers, we think. So we're going to take the Chargers here on the Thursday night rinse here on the Sunday script.
Yep. I mean, this is why they call it the Thursday night rinse, because this game is a rinse. These teams are not good, either of them. Both teams are heavily injured, short week, and both are just on some skids right now. So Carson Wentz, who we were talking about the quarterback play, Tim was, Carson Wentz was getting lit up by the Eagles. That pick 6 he threw, I don't know if you guys went back and watched that, but that nose tackle came in, clobbered him, and he was messing with his ribs. His shoulder was already hurt, non-throwing, but still. And then J.J. McCarthy's out. I think Cock is just keeping J.J. out. I don't think he had time to fix him yet. He didn't throw in college, so he hasn't had time to fix him. So he's just keeping Wentz out there to be the punching bag. But that being said, if Wentz is not good to go, do we see a Max Brosmer third string masterclass? Maybe. but I doubt it. If he comes in, they're fucked.
Yeah, and if Cock can fix him,
Cock can fix anybody.
Cock can fix anyone.
Yeah. On the other side of the ball, Sherbert, he's doing his best. Sherbert's really not playing that bad. Box score, yes, but all things considered, he's not playing that bad. He has no run game. His running back's out. Joe Alt's been out. His other tackle's been out. He's doing what he can, but he's really just tossing the ball to old man Keenan. And it's like, you got some other weapons, so spread it around a little bit. That being said, Joe Alt is expected to play this week. Could finally buy our boy Rainbow Sherbert some time in the pocket and slice up a Vikings defense that honestly has not been impressing us.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be a little bit better with Brian Flores off the bye, albeit don't go to the box score again because they did shut down that Eagles offense for a lot of that game. Eagles scored on defense. Score looked a little different than what the game actually dictated. But on the other defense, the Chargers defense is on fraud alert. I was hot on the Chargers defense at the beginning of the season, and a couple injuries and just some bad games getting lit up by Daniel Jones and the Colts. If they lose this one, like I said, they're on fraud alert right now, but they're going to be full-blown frauds if they lose this one. We're going to lock in the Chargers. They're not traveling. Yeah. They got the short week, and the Vikings, they're kind of just in shambles right now in terms of quarterback and leadership. Leadership on the field. I think Cock's a good coach still. So we're going to lock in the Chargers. And with that, thank God there is no international rinse this week. Thank fucking God.
God bless the United States of America.
I think we got a couple more still.
We got plenty
in the season.
They're going to stuff us with plenty of those still.
Yeah.
Madrid.
Yeah.
I think there's one in Germany.
Yeah, there's one in Germany. There's one in Madrid. I think those are the last two, though. I think we only got two more international rinses. So thank God none this week. The road to 0-17 does continue for the New Jersey Jets. They're taking on the Bengals at home. Bengals -7. Can we just say, for that Thursday night performance, Joe Flacco's back to his old elite form. I think it was just the Browns. But, it also helps when you have $100 million worth of receivers to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
He was just force-feeding Jamar Chase the ball. Jets are going to probably try and double him up, I would assume. Aaron Glenn's defensive mastermind. Let's see what he comes up with, because you can't be letting him get 26 receptions, 160 yards when your offense can't move the ball at all. So good luck game planning for that one, because he's dangerous. And then you got T. Higgins on the other side. So I imagine Joe Flacco is just going to keep force feeding him the ball if he can. Bengals also got their run game going, but is the Steelers defense even good? I don't know. I think that was a little bit more of the Steelers run defense being bad, but that helps out Joe Flacco. But even Joe Flacco was lethal in the run game. We saw him take off a couple times. Yeah. So Joe Flacco looks like he got revitalized after stepping out of the Ferrari. Fields finally, at long last, got pulled out of the game. We were calling for that 2 or 3 weeks ago. So what happened was he got absolutely annihilated when he was sliding on a late hit. Looked like he was going to get another concussion, honestly. He cleared the concussion protocol allegedly. Aaron Glenn said that he just benched him because his team needed a spark. They've been needing a spark all season. So we'll see Tyrod start this game most likely. The owner doesn't even like, Justin Fields playing football for them. And as I always say, the Jets are poverty. So bet against them. Yeah. Joe Flacco is taking a big step up. He looks like he can get it done until Joe Burr gets back. So, Tyrod didn't really play much better in a fucking snoozer, but expect him to, make the Bengals defense look good again. And we'll see how this one goes. But just bet against the Jets this year until proven otherwise. A couple teams like that this year. Until proven otherwise, just take the other team. Locking in the Bengals at home.
Yeah, the Jets come out and put up another 3-point performance. So, Jets suck. Just end the suffering.
Just end the season.
Just end the goddamn suffering. Every day I wake up grateful that I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
Because I could be a Jets fan.
Yeah.
Justin Fields says that he was a little bit surprised that he got benched, but at this point, they almost should just keep playing him and keep rinsing for the number 1 overall pick, to be honest with you. I don't know why Justin Fields is surprised he was benched. He got benched in Pittsburgh. I was calling for him to get benched when he got hurt his last year in Chicago, and they had Agent Bajent going out there and looking better.
Yeah.
So he's been bad for some time now. This is no surprise to anyone, but you pay him $20 million to come in and rinse, so you might as well get your money's worth and get the first overall pick. Usually you don't fire a rookie head coach, and Woody Johnson is saying he believes in his head coach, but not his quarterback. So that's probably a great atmosphere in the locker room whenever he's going to step in that and look at Justin and say, wow, I really paid you a lot of money to fucking suck. But on the other side, Zach Taylor, his teams play really well after that mini bye, right? The Thursday night into Sunday the next week. Mm-hmm. And Joe Flacco provides a spark, and Jamar Chase is happy again, it seems, so he can go out and Gwitty all over the field there.
Well, he was crying for a little while.
He was crying for a little bit. He was.
But then you force feed him the ball.
That comes with the territory. You make hundreds of millions of dollars, and you get to cry, I guess.
Yeah.
The run game for the Bengals is still not where it needs to be.
No.
And the Jets' defense is really good, actually, which is their one good part of their team, but when you score 3 points, it doesn't matter. Tyrod should hopefully provide a little bit of a spark. But Joe Flacco should be able to throw to Jamar Chase again, and if not, maybe to Maurice Higgins.
Yeah.
If they're going to double Jamar. But we're going to take the Bengals here at home against the Jets until they win a game, like Carm said, bet against them. But, Nick, when you have a first-year head coach that hasn't won a game in 2 months or a game at all, he's 0-7 as a head coach, how much leeway would you give a first-year head coach? Would you fire him after this year, or do you definitely give him more time?
I'd get rid of him after the year. I mean, there's no excuses. It's not his first year as a coach. It's his first year as head coach, so you would expect a little something, but in my opinion, they're stuck with him the rest of the year. I mean, if they get off the train now, it's gonna take longer to get a coach that's competent, and then on top of that, they don't have great players around them. I mean, the defense is only so good, but defense doesn't win games. I mean, if they did, then we'd have all these all-star teams, but what we're really seeing is probably his first and last year playing as an NFL coach.
Yeah.
Being an NFL coach.
Yeah, it could be that way, which is crazy because he was such a highly touted prospect as a coaching prospect, right? Him and Ben coming from Detroit.
Yeah.
But like I said last week, too bad they couldn't get Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's going to take us into the rematch, an NFC East rematch.
Yeah, it's almost like we just saw this game.
It's almost like we did just see this game, but thank God it's not on TNR.
Yeah.
So the Eagles come off Giants versus Eagles. The Giants are going into Philly. And the Eagles are coming off a great game throwing the football, which is a good sight to see if you're an Eagles fan. However, Saquon only ran for 44 yards. So I think Saquon has he has 369 yards on the year so far.
Yeah.
Nice. But for Saquon, that's pathetic.
Terrible.
I mean, we're in week 8 and you have, you don't even have 100-yard. I don't think he's had a 100-yard game this year.
No, not even close.
So, I mean, that brings the question, was the baby food eater just the run guru for them last year? And they really do miss the baby food eater a lot, it seems like. The Giants, on the other hand, come off that colossal rinse. I mean, Fart throws that pick. Yeah, I don't know where he was going with that ball. That dude was right there the whole time. Classic rookie mistake, which is fine. You're going to have those when you're starting a rookie. But the Fart glaze, I guess, continues even though they lose. So, the Giants get a moral victory, but I don't understand how you can feel that way. If you came back and lost by 1, maybe it's a moral victory, but you allowed them to score 33 fucking points in the fourth quarter, and then you're going to sit here and say it's a moral victory? There's no such things in the NFL, right? So that one's on Fart, and it's on the whole team. It's on the whole team. But that pick really, really set them back. And then they're blaming that, I don't know, they got some Irish or British kicker or something, and they're blaming him because he missed that extra point.
Yeah.
To put him up 3. But that's not that dude's fault. You let them score 33 points in the fourth quarter.
I agree.
Don't blame your kicker. Right? Why don't you blame your head coach who's running into the negotiation tent when he should be coaching a game? Right? Mm-hmm. When Fart got her against the Eagles, he's running in. Oh, where's my little baby Fart? Where's my little baby Fart? I need him. Oh, I paid Russell Wilson all this money, but I don't trust him. You know? So the Giants are 2-5, and people still think they're good. I don't think Vegas clearly does. This is a -7 spread. We don't think the Eagles let the Giants beat them twice, especially at home. Rivalry game. We already seen them before. You can adjust, and we're hoping Sirianni does here. So we're gonna take the Eagles this week on the Sunday script.
The the Eagles already dropped a game to the Giants, like we said, 17 days ago. Thanks, NFL schedulers. Really been rinsing this season. You see it every year. You see it all the time where, teams will split games in the division. Usually who's at home too. This also isn't a Thursday night rinse. The Eagles, finally get something going against the Vikings. Are the Vikings fraudulent? Maybe, but maybe their OC is finally figuring it out a bit. But I'll tell you who is fraudulent, and that's Jackson Fart, man. 283 yards, 1 interception, and 3 touchdowns. Once again, box score enthusiast.
Please. I know exactly what you're going to say. Please get into it, Carl.
Yeah, please. Okay, so you have 283 yards, but you have 50 yards and a touchdown coming off of the luckiest bounce off deflected pass into the guy's arm down the sideline. Okay, so there's a fifth of your passing yards. And then just the most grotesque interception I've ever seen anyone make, rookie or not. I mean, that was Will Levis level, man. That was bad.
At least Will Levis makes it entertaining,
the linebacker standing right in front of him, and he's just like, oh, here you go. And then it was all downhill. They completely fell apart. And yeah, the kicker did rinse, but the whole team fell completely apart in the fourth quarter. Like, it was just abysmal performance in the fourth quarter, and you just can't do that. Honestly, people were saying in the media and stuff, oh, moral victory, like Tim was saying. It was not a moral victory. You were up 26-8 at one point in the fourth quarter. You cannot lose those games.
No.
But, that's what you get. Jackson Fart can't throw, man. He can't throw. And, people like to tout the box score, but, we'll see as the season goes on, and everyone else will see that he's playing just as good as Justin Fields, I think. They're catching the Eagles at an upswing at home, divisional game, and they need to get this one back after the good old-fashioned Thursday night rinse. So we are going to lock in the Eagles. They're -7. It might be a little bit closer than the spread dictates. But, they were minus, 10 last time they played and got smacked around pretty bad. So we'll lock in the Eagles and hope they don't rinse again. Now this is an interesting game because it's really, really dependent on one man that we're not a big fan of on the Sunday script. We got the Bears at the Ravens. Ravens are -6.5. The Ravens are not out of their division after the Steelers just rinsed on Thursday night rinse. They're not. They're 1-5, but they could come back if their crown jewel Lamar Jackson decides to stop crying and get on the damn field and win some football games for them. People have been saying the Ravens defense is bad, but they held Stat Padford to 17 points, and we saw what he just did against the allegedly elite defense, throwing for 400 yards in London. So maybe they're not so bad after all. On the defensive side of the ball, too, they got their linebacker, Roquan Smith, coming back, so that should help out their defense as well. However, on the Bears side, their defense is looking legit, too. So even if Lamar is back, they got to be careful because the Bears defense has been getting a lot of takeaways. They've been forcing a lot of takeaways. These are not like bad throws. They've been punching the balls out. They've been hawking the balls from the safeties, from the corners, sitting in zone. They're looking pretty good. Have they been having a little Mickey Mouse schedule? Maybe. But they've been looking pretty good. Run defense has always stepped up. As I was saying 2 weeks ago, they stepped up big time, but they're going to have a big test with Derrick Henry coming out of the backfield. Bears are kicking a lot of field goals, but that will beat them if Cooper Rush is playing. And if their defense plays how they've been playing against the bad teams, even if Lamar Jackson's playing, field goals will win them this game. I'm expecting a lot closer one than 6.5 says. So DeAndre Swift is picking it up as well, getting their run game going. Caleb's not having to throw the ball 50, 60 times like he was last year. So I think I noticed a lot. I think Ben Johnson is actually cooking up like better run blocking schemes. I don't think it's DeAndre Swift being good now. I think some of the guard pulls, the tackle pulls that they're having, some of the misdirections are really opening up the game for DeAndre Swift. And, Ravens defense, it's still suspect. They had a good game against Rams, but 40 points to the Texans. It's up in the air in Baltimore right now. 6.5, I don't like. Bears are hot right now. Lamar maybe plays injured. Hate to say it, but we're going to lock in the Bears.
Yeah, so the Ravens are coming off the bye this week. They're hoping to get a little healthier, right? But Lamar didn't practice on Monday, and that's the biggest question mark going into the NFL this week. Carm said they're 1-5, and he thinks that that's not a hole they can dig out of, but I'm not too sure. 1-5, you got to make all that up. Maybe be 10-7 to make the playoffs. You can only lose 2 more games this year.
They got to run the table.
So they got to run the damn table. But the question is, does Lamar want to get into the game to run the table, right? And we'll discuss that in a little bit here. The Ravens' defense has still been very bad. Roquan, even if they get Roquan back, it might not make that big of a difference. He hasn't been playing that well in general this year. Now, who knows if that's injury or not. But this is a Roquan revenge game.
It is
so
a
they haven't played Roquan
game
since they traded him, although that's looking like a good trade for both sides, I think. Right? On the Bears side of things, so the Bears have won 4 straight for the first time since 2018. The one thing is they have had 15 takeaways in that span, but that's probably not sustainable. If Lamar does play, if MVP Lamar does play, they did hold MVP Dak to barely anything this year. So even if Lamar does come back, he might be limited in the run game especially, and that might limit the offense of the Ravens for sure. The run game is definitely a lot better. Of course, you pay your interior offensive line. You got a whole new interior offensive line, which helps a lot. You pay those guys a bunch. You bring in a bunch of new guys. And then you have someone that comes in and actually wants to run the ball and knows how to run the ball.
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't think DeAndre Swift was ever that bad. It was just there's nowhere to go, right? So they took the bye week to kind of go through that. The biggest issue, like Carm said, is the red zone touchdowns. Even though they're kicking field goals, they're still 10th in scoring. But if they were scoring on those drives, they'd be first in scoring.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, they'd be first in scoring. They'd be winning these games they'd be winning these games by 25 points every week. Caleb didn't play well on Sunday. I'll, of course, be the first to admit it, but he didn't need to. The Bears have shown that they can win with defense. They can win with offense if they need to, and Caleb can step up and make plays when he's called upon to do so. And they've also won games with special teams, and they're still winning games with special teams every week, considering they're kicking all these field goals. And then they had the blocked field goal as well.
Yeah.
So with that, we are going to ride the Ben Johnson Bears. If Caleb has a good game this week, then that's a certain Bears win, I think, even with Lamar. But we'll just have to see there, right? But Nick, kind of a twofold question for you here now. First off, we always got to ask, are the Bears back? And with that, is Lamar faking it?
So I'll start with the first one. I think it's still early to say whether the Bears are back. As much as I want to see them succeed, I don't want to put too much faith in them only for them to let us down, because the Bears are definitely known for letting down their fans.
They are.
Then going into the second question, when it comes down to Lamar, I don't know if he's faking it, but I think it's awfully convenient that someone that was initially dogging their team is now not playing after receiving a huge paycheck. So I think that the odds of him faking it are high, but I don't want to say it unless there's proof about it.
I'll say it. He's faking it.
Yeah, we'll say it here on the Sunday script. We think Lamar is faking his injury.
Yeah.
And Nick is kind of just preaching to the choir here, which we thank you for doing, Nick, every week here on the Sunday script. But we'll just have to see. It's a tough game. 6.5 spread is a lot.
That's a lot against the Bears team that's been playing pretty well.
It's a lot. But with that, we'll get into the Niners versus the Texans. So the Texans are coming in favorited at home, minus 1.5. The Niners are coming off that big win on Sunday Night Football over the Falcons, and Mikey McCorkle might be the second best QB system quarterback in the league behind Goof.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really not spread the ball. They don't really throw the ball downfield at all, though. That's a big concern for them going forward. But having George Kittle back helps a lot for San Francisco, and CMC is having a great year so far, which is not surprising. The more surprising aspect of it is that he's playing all these games, right? So he's actually the one player that hasn't been getting hurt, which is keeping them in this season, to be honest with you. Because if he was getting hurt like he usually has been, then the Niners would maybe have 2 wins by now. It's that big of a difference with CMC. He is really having a great year, right? Sock Dirty might be coming back from his big toe, turf toe, but honestly, do they just stick with Mac? Little Mikey McCorkle?
I think so.
They might have to. We've seen Shanahan ride with the better quarterback before when they took Trey Lance 3rd overall and then rode with Sock. after he was Mr. Irrelevant, right? The Texans are coming off a late game on Monday, so their schedule will be a Tuesday they're off, and then Wednesday they'll have a walkthrough, Thursday light practice, Friday travel, Saturday walkthrough, and then back to a game.
Yeah.
Right? And even though C.J. Stroud plays better at home, they're going to be missing Nico Collins, which is a huge blow for them because who else are they going to give the ball to, right? They have no run game. Their offensive line has been really bad all year.
Awful.
All year, right? And we don't think that them being at home makes that big of a difference. It's not that fantastic of an atmosphere.
No.
Right? So we are going to take the San Francisco 49ers this week on the Sunday script to upset the Texans, which isn't really an upset in our mind, but Vegas is giving it to us. So we will take the 49ers this week.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. I was saying, even though they lost the weekend that I said it, I was saying you got to trust the Kyle Shanahan system. He's taken quarterbacks out. He swapped them. He's gone to Super Bowls doing that. They lose their Robert Saleh as well. They lose their star middle linebacker, the quarterback of the defense, and then they hold the best running back in the league to 40 yards. Yeah. I mean, you got to trust the system, man. Like, they're for real over there. The coaching staff is for real. They know how to get people playing. CMC finally got going. He was having a good season, all right, like already, but his run stats were middle of the road. But he got going. He had like 100-something rush yards. He also had like 100 receiving yards too. But I mean, that's because they have no one else to throw the ball to, I think.
Yeah.
So they don't really have a lot of offensive weapons left. George Kittle is going to be coming back, which is going to be a big help. I think at this point, you got to just ride with the hot hand with Mac Jones. He's won you a bunch of games. He's kept the season alive after Sock Dirty gets injured. And then the Texans defense is like touted to be so great, but they just got lit the fuck up last night by Sam Darnold. So, I mean, I'm not saying Mac Jones is Sam Darnold level, but he should be able to get some routes open over the middle, hit the tight end, lean on CMC a little bit, and get the job done. It's a 1.5 spread. It's a pick 'em. I like the Niners in this one. The Texans' offense is abysmal outside of beating up on the Ravens. They haven't done jack all season. So speaking of the quarterback controversy, I got another question for Mr. Nicholas. The Niners are paying Brock Purdy $200 million, and Mikey McCorkle's getting paid $10 million. If you paid someone that much money, are you obligated to pay them, or do you ride with Mac Jones, who's been winning you games?
I feel like the best way to answer that is the ball doesn't lie. I mean, who's getting the ball downfield right now and who's off the field right now? So I think although the stats on how much they're getting paid are egregious, and it's a growing issue in the league when it comes down to the guaranteed money fiasco, I think you got to let the hot hands fly. I mean, if you're seeing good performance out of the people on the field that want to play football and aren't blinded by the money, then I'd say let it ride until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and they say your best ability is availability. That's what they say in the NFL.
I agree. Right? I think they should keep going with Mac Jones personally, but anyway, lock in the Niners. We are moving on to Massachusetts. We got the Browns at the Patriots. Patriots -7, and the Kevin Stefanski Ferrari is up and running. But is Quinshon Judkins driving instead of Dylan Gabriel?
Well, Dylan Gabriel can fit in it.
Yeah, he could. He could fit in that.
He could fit in a Countach for sure.
Small little Italian
Nick
men.
wouldn't be able to fit in a Countach, though.
No, he's way too big.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, though. Nick's swole as fuck. They're Quinshon Judkins, excuse me. All right, I got off track now. Quinshon Judkins is running the offense. They're running the offense through him. I mean, they're snapping him the ball in the end zone, in the red zone. Twice. They just did a wildcat. They took Dylan Gabriel out of the center and just ran it in with Quinshon Judkins playing quarterback. So they're running through him. Game at the Titans with the Patriots was kind of close. They until the Titans just did Titan things and shit the bed and threw a pick six, and then it was all downhill from there. Tim said they were going to win by 28. I didn't know if that was it.
It was close.
They won by 17 though, so they beat up on the Titans. That was expected. We'll see how Drake May does against allegedly good defense. Seems like everyone's fucking fraudulent this year. So, you never know. But Drake May's riding 75% completion. He had 96% completion versus the worst team in football beside the Jets. So we'll see what happens. I'm expecting Drake May to have another good game. And I just think the Patriots are just a more polished team. The Browns are still figuring a lot of things out. Yeah, they got a star running back now. Their defense is playing pretty well, healthy. They got some good stars on that side of the ball. May not cover 7 points, but they should be able to beat the Browns, I think. So we're gonna lock in the Patriots at home.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy pick for us here on the Sunday Script this week. Like Carm said, Dylan Gabriel was finally given the keys to the Kevin Stefanski offense. But I mean, Quinshon Judkins only had 84 yards on 3 touchdowns. Usually, you see a little bit more yardage with that.
He has
right?
big runs,
so that was he had some big runs, but a lot of that was short field situations, right? So Tua was just handing them the ball.
Oh,
and we'll get into the
Tua.
Dolphins and Tua later. Yeah, but the Browns defense is still a really good unit, we think, right? I mean, they're keeping them in games. They're mostly winning them games. They just ran into the Dolphins last week.
Mm-hmm. And they scored on defense, too.
And they did, yeah.
Made the score like that.
The Patriots come into this game after beating the Pee Wee Titans. So they started off slow, but the Titans came back down to their usual self, as always. The 1-16 Titans, fucking ridiculous. They have a win, but that's for a later game here. Another low attendance game in Tennessee, so that didn't help them either. But Drake May had a very high completion rate. They're comparing him to Tom Brady. I'm surprised that they're doing that, but they want to be high off the quarterback play, then let them, I guess. But probably hold your horses with that comparison a little bit. But we'll see.
He's got about 7 more championships.
Yeah, he's got about 7 more championships to go. And the Mickey Mouse tour for the Patriots continues. They've only played one team with a winning record this year, who they did beat, but the Bills beat themselves. So really, they haven't played a single damn team with a winning record this year. And I just think the Patriots are a year away. Either they're a year away, or they're going to end up like the Commanders next year, like the Commanders are this year, and play a good team. I mean, have a good schedule next year because they might win the division, and then just shit the bed next year. But we'll see. That's a prediction for next year, and of course we'll be here next year to bring you all of our football takes.
Absolutely.
But we're going to take the Patriots this week on the Sunday Script. We've been betting right on them, so I'm not mad about that.
No.
Some of the narratives I get a little frustrated about, but that's okay. That's why I have this platform to be able to voice my opinion. And we're glad that you watch.
Spew our own narrative.
Yeah, and we're glad that you're able to watch. Yeah. Speaking of the Bills, we're going to have Buffalo going into Carolina to play the Panthers. The Panthers are coming off a win on the road to the 0-17 Jets, so Bryce Young improves to 2-17 on the road in his career. Even though he comes out with an injury, unfortunately, right? And that brings the Red Rifle into the game, and he will start this week. I almost would be more confident in the Panthers and maybe a little upset alert here if Bryce was playing. Bryce plays a lot better at home than he does on the road, clearly, based off that stat I just gave you. And Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard are splitting carries, and shout out to Chuba Hubbard because that is his real name. So shout out to Chuba. And at the beginning of the year, we didn't think the Panthers would be that bad. I mean, we took them week 1 to beat Jacksonville, and then they rinsed us, but that's in the past. We only look forward. There's only lessons, not losses. They get a Bills team off a bye that's looking to bounce back after rinsing to the Falcons. And fun fact for you, under Sean McDermott, the Bills have not lost a game after the bye. And they're coming into a Panthers team that is above 500 for the first time or is 500 for the first time in 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
Which is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And as a Bears fan, I thank you for that as well because you gave us a bunch of picks. So thanks. And I think we see a great game from Josh here. And we're going to realize that the Panthers actually are going to miss Bryce Young, and we think the Red Rifle kind of just stinks it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too high on Andy Dalton starting this game. Bills come back. Get right game for the Bills. We're going to take the Buffalo Bills this week on the Sunday Script.
Yes, sir. We're going to take the Bills on the road. They're -7.5 favorites. It might be more than that coming off a bye with the backup quarterback. Bryce Young's out with a high ankle sprain, so he's gonna be missing multiple games. We've been seeing the high ankle sprain this year has destroyed a lot of seasons. We saw Bijan absolutely expose the Bills' run defense, so I'm wondering if Rico Story can finally get his trilogy and do another 150 yards against them. That being said, Josh Allen's had some time to rest. They're coming off the bye. I'm really more so expecting Josh Allen to kind of light them up in the air. And even though they're on the road, they're coming off a bye, they're fully rested, and Sean McDermott will probably be able to scheme something up. And they got a lot of offensive injuries and defensive injuries that are set to return that haven't been playing.
Yeah.
Linebackers, and a couple receivers as well. So we're going to lock in the Bills. This is a bit of a get-right game for them after rinsing to the Falcons and then going into the bye. So lock in the Bills.
This episode of the Sunday Script is brought to you by Sentence Enhancers. Words are tools. Some cut deep and other build bridges. In this book, it'll help you recognize new words to use, as well as help you improve your communication both at work and in everyday life. Buy Sentence Enhancers now on Amazon.
Speaking of ATL, we got the Dolphins coming into town. Dolphins are on the road to be the worst team in football if the Jets can pick up a win. Because
they'll play them one more time.
Yeah, because I don't see the Dolphins, winning any more games after what we've been witnessing. And in fact, you know what? Honestly, I don't even know why we keep betting on them. We've done it too many times, and they've just rinsed us every single time.
There's only lessons.
So, they've just rinsed us every single time. Tua should be getting benched. 3 picks in consecutive games. One wasn't really his fault, but the end zone. He's in his back of his end zone and just throws it to the linebacker, dude. It was like the Jackson fart one, except the linebacker got to their own 2-yard line, and then it's like the Browns are obviously going to punch it in. Dolphins defense could not handle this Kevin Stefanski Ferrari. They're really bad. And it looks like, the Falcons got Bijan Robinson. So scary game if Quinshon Judkins does that to you. Yeah, Bijan got shut down last week, but Quinshon can do that to you. I'm sure Penix is going to be giving a lot of handoffs, running the ball with Bijan.
Yeah.
Dolphins as well. Looks like they're going to rock with McDaniel. The scripties on the show know that I've been saying the Dolphins since like week 2 are going to be the worst team in football. And I've also been saying that Mike McDaniels is going to get fired. But the GM seems to like him. Seems like they're going to just keep going with them. He's completely lost the locker room. Tua's completely lost the locker room. They have no leadership. They're all just there to get paid. They don't want to win football games. They're not trying. So I don't know why. Just change the coach or start tanking for picks. Compete with the Jets. Falcons put up a stinker against the 49ers last week. That was not what we expected. And but as Tim always says, the Falcons are going to go where Bijan takes them. Penix isn't going to do anything. Bijan should have another good game against a bad run defense. But this is a pretty rinse game. I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons just shit the bed. Let's put it that way.
I would.
But the Dolphins we think are that bad, so we're going to lock in the Falcons.
Yeah, I would be pretty shocked if that happened. We haven't really liked gambling on the Falcons all year, just rinse and repeat. Rinse after rinse after rinse after rinse. It seems like no matter what we do with the Falcons, they just end up rinsing us. But however, they luck into getting one of the worst teams in football. And Bijan should have a much better game against this horrendous defense. Like I said, Half Chubb and Rico Story were out there balling. So Bijan should have a pretty good game. And you throw Tyler Algier in there too, who's no scrub. Simple gets benched in that game for Quentin Ewers, who also blows. So no leadership. Nobody's taking accountability there in Miami. Problem with Miami is it's not a sports town, It's a party town. So those players go there and... What did I say? If I was in the NFL and I was a free agent, where would I go?
Miami. Absolutely.
Just get paid and not care. The only person that cared on that team was Tyreek. And they're actually missing Tyreek more than I thought they would. I thought that they were going to kind of get rid of that cancer and remove that tumor, but it seems that they are really missing that consistent weapon. A-Chain's not that guy this year, and they're just bad.
Yeah.
We bet on them way too many times this year, and we've learned from that mistake. So we are going to ride with the Atlanta Falcons. But Nick, usually we have a question for you. This one is just a statement. The Dolphins are ass. So what do you got to say about that?
Well, the way I see the Dolphins is they're like a high miles elite classic Corvette. They've seen the wear, they've seen the tear. They're falling apart at the seams, but they have all the potential still right there. I was pretty strong on them at the beginning of the season. I think that they need to swap out some components, and and then they'll be in the end zone. I mean,
Dolphs elite.
I said it best every week. I mean, I think the Dolphins not only have the best look for the ability to win, but they got the best name. Their jerseys are slick, and their mascot is a dolphin, right? Of course. What's better than that? You can't beat the Dolphs. Dolphs elite. Everybody knows it. We'll see you guys in the Super Bowl this, next, and the following year.
Yeah, well, the 11 to 10 touchdown to interception ratio says otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Yeah, but we do appreciate your fandom really showing and
That's commitment.
That's commitment.
That's commitment.
That's commitment. And when this show is still going on, based off our wonderful sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Based off our wonderful sponsors and your guys' support, Nick will be able to celebrate his Dolphins Super Bowl on the Sunday Script one day, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll be there at the game. I'll be there, do the live show for the game. I'll be up in the press box explaining why the Dolphins were the best team back in 2025 and how no one gave them a chance. So
yeah,
I'll be there.
Maybe that'll be an off the script, which is a little teaser here for you on the Sunday Script. More to come with that, right? But we're going to head into a NFC South divisional game here. Buccaneers versus the Saints. So Bucs are coming off a pretty disappointing loss to the Lions on Monday Night Football, but they were kind of due.
They were
Their
due.
injuries were racking up, and
We picked against
them.
them.
Yeah, the injuries were racking up, and it's Detroit's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Detroit's still good, right? Even though they lost to the Chiefs at Arrowhead, but we'll talk about the Chiefs here later. Mike Evans is done for the year with a broken collarbone, which I don't know how to feel about it, right?
And a concussion.
Oh, and a concussion.
Yeah.
Great. Get two birds stoned at once right there, right?
As they say.
Yeah. But I don't really know how to feel about that, considering he's not he's a Hall of Famer, of course, but he's not the all-pro caliber receiver that Tampa really relied on in the past.
No.
And now they have Emeka Buka to do that. But it seems like the Buccaneers are pretty reliant on Baker to win them games, and that can come back to haunt them as we move further along in the season. If you can't win the game at three different phases at different times throughout the season, if that makes sense. Like if your defense can win you a game, if your offense can win you a game, if your special teams can win you a game, I think those are really what make the good teams that last and have sustained success in the NFL during a full season, mostly because of the wear and tear and all that stuff, right? However, they luck into playing the 1-6 Saints at the moment, but who are also going to be the 1-16 Saints. Little rattle last week. Maybe got intimidated by Caleb's presence again.
Yeah.
Like he did at OU. When he's throwing picks and the whole stadium of 100,000 people are chanting, "We want Caleb," and I don't think he's recovered from that. I think he still wakes up in night sweats from that.
Probably.
And he hasn't been great outside the Superdome at all. That's really been his kryptonite, is being away from the Superdome this year. He throws 3 picks, has a fumble. He had some good drives there to Olave, right, but looked pedestrian at best at some times. And the Saints' run defense looked bad against the Bears, so expect a lot of running from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. People are all of a sudden down on the Buccaneers after one loss.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFC.
Definitely.
Definitely a top 3 team in the NFC for sure. So we're going to ride with Baker again. I don't think this takes him out of the MVP conversation. You're allowed to have one bad game, right? But we're going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week on the Sunday Script to go into the Superdome and beat their division rival.
Yeah. Beside last week, the Bucs have been playing very, very well. Now that being said, they played it's a bit concerning that they played the Lions, who had basically no starting secondary in the game and still got nothing going on offense.
Yeah.
And that's not due to a Mike Evans injury. Now, shout out to Mike Evans. I feel really bad for him. He slammed really hard. Hall of Famer, great guy. We love Mike Evans. I hope him the best. But that's not why they lost the game. They lost the game because the Detroit defense was playing really well against them.
Yeah.
The Bucs have been playing also injured all year. However, they should beat the Saints. I mean, you lose to the Lions and everyone's like, "Oh, the sky is falling. The sky is falling." It's like, okay, the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFC, as we were saying.
All right, Chicken Little.
Yeah. So, the Bucs are going to be looking to get one back after getting pooped on in prime time. I will say the Saints defense only let up 2 touchdowns to the Ben Johnson offense off a bye, so that's not that bad. I was a lot more down on the Saints defense earlier in the season, so they can still stick around and make it interesting, but Jesus Christ, Baby Rattle had a bad game, man. Fumble, interception, getting sacked all the time. He wasn't moving around in the pocket. He got a couple drives going, but it's like it was way too little, too late. In terms of the run game, the Bucs did not get their run game going as much as we were expecting. Rashad White has picked up the slack a lot since Buck Teeth has been gone, but Buck Teeth should be back this week. So we're going to be looking forward to that, and hopefully the Bucs can get the ball moving. This is not really a whole lot to talk about. The Bucs are still a contending team versus the Saints, who are still in the middle of a rebuild. They should be able to win this game even on the road. So we're going to lock in the Bucs, and we are going to move on to the Cowgirls visiting the Mile High Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos are -3.5 favorites. Here's an interesting thing. The Cowboys have lost they've lost 3 of their 4 outdoor games this season. And the one that they won was against the Jets, so we're not even going to count that. So really, they lost all 3 of their outdoor games this season. But Dak is playing out of his mind, and CeeDee Lamb is back. CeeDee's nuts is he's alive and he's cooking. George Pickens, number 2, now he's been cooking in CeeDee Lamb's absence. And Dak is getting them the ball down the field. Scoring points has not been their problem. Now, they do score like 10, 15 less points outside. Denver, it's, getting towards November. It's going to be a little cold. We'll see if that translates. However, it seems that Vegas thinks that the offense is still going to be able to pop off 3.5 points. The Broncos defense is still really good. They did give up, 33 points, but as I was talking about earlier when we were talking about the Giants, they got rinsed on a couple really lucky plays.
Yeah.
That helped the Giants, put up some more points. Now, that's part of football, I know. But Starvin Marvin was making some big body plays at 5'9", so it'll be a good receiver matchup for them. They got Cortland Sutton, Starvin Marvin, a couple of other weapons for Bo Nix to throw the ball to on a allegedly bad pass defense. But how many times have we said it? So many teams are fraudulent, and it's been so inconsistent that like a bad pass defense could maybe have a great game. So we don't know. Broncos almost rinse, and they mount an amazing comeback, but a lot of that is due to them just stuttering on offense. Like, they shouldn't really have had to come back 33 points. And they had some lucky plays themselves. I don't see it really falling the same way against the Cowboys. I mean, Dak is probably going to put up another 30, 40 points with CeeDee's nuts. So we're going to lock in the Cowboys as the dogs on the road. Might bite us in the ass because they're playing outside, but we got to rock with them. I'm not too sure about the Broncos offense right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a believer this year.
No.
Right? So they've come off really slow the past couple weeks. They did it against the Eagles. They did it against the Jets. Of course, it's an international rinse.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
They do it last week against the Giants, too, and we've seen them get off to slow starts, and Bo has been pretty inconsistent. The Broncos' defense is still great at rushing the passer, so they got to Fart 4 times, but I think a lot of that is Fart just running around, and not really sitting in the pocket and getting rid of the ball, right? But they'll need a big game from Pat Surtain here to limit Celine Dion if they really want to.
Yeah.
If they really want to stop the Cowboys' offense, right? But the thing is that air is thinner, so that ball will fly. Mm-hmm. And Dak is back.
Yeah,
I think you're finally on that train.
Well, no, he finally showed up.
I've been on it for about a month now that Dak is back. We're gonna see probably 2 or 3 moonballs to Celine Dion and George Pickens this week.
Probably,
and Jake Ferguson's really having a good year this year too, and so is Javonte Williams. So Dre Greenlaw gets suspended for yapping his mouth to the refs like an idiot after you won too. I mean, he's been hurt all year. Gets suspended in his first game back after you pay him all that money. Yeah. So he gets paid all that. He doesn't get paid when he gets suspended. Okay. Yeah, but he did get paid those 4 games to sit on his ass and do nothing. Yeah. And then you get back and cry to the refs. But I won't go too much farther into that. Revenge game for Javonte Williams as well. I think Dak's going to lead them here, and I think the Dallas offense has a great game this week. And I think somehow we're going to be talking about Dallas at the end of the year maybe being a wild card team.
After rinsing.
The Commanders are horrendous this year. We'll get into them later. Fart is still 2-5, and the Eagles are fraudulent.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for the Dallas Cowboys this year? We'll just have to see. The fun of the NFL season, right? But we're going to take the Dallas Cowboys this week on the Sunday script to go into Mile High. But that's going to take us into a minus 14 spread for the Titans versus Colts here. Colts are favored by 2 touchdowns. If the Packers were favored by 14.5 against the Bengals, then this should be a negative. This should be a minus 21 for the Colts. This is going to be a bloodbath here.
I think so.
And if we're wrong about that this week, we might just stop the show.
Yeah.
The Colts are coming off that great game against the Chargers. We might have to sit here and eat our words, which don't taste great, but we might, that the Colts might be legit this year. But they've kind of had a cakewalk as well. The Chargers are fraudulent.
Oh, yeah.
The Chargers are fraudulent too. And we don't think the Colts really... They should have beat the Rams. But Adonai Mitchell...
Well, then you shouldn't win because your player's being a fucking moron.
No, I agree.
That's what I say.
I agree. But Indianapolis Jones is doing the Indianapolis Jones special, the dink and dunk, and nobody does it better.
No.
Nobody does it better in the league than him. Jonathan Taylor's moving his way into the MVP conversation with Dak and Baker, even though they usually don't give it to running backs. I think Saquon should have won it last year.
Yeah.
But they gave it to Josh Allen just because you're a quarterback, right? I don't remember the last time a running back won MVP, but it's been some time. Titans are a peewee football team. They can't do anything right. They fired their head coach for a reason, and Cam Ward is looking like a bust already. So I hope that's not the case because I wish for a great quarterback play in the league. But this year's draft class might be bad, and next year's is going to be bad as well based off all the college football that's being played. I don't care about college football, but that's what the NFL people say. So we're going to take the Colts. Jim Irsay, the spirit of Jim Irsay is alive. The spirit of Jim Irsay is alive, and the spirit of Virginia McCaskey is alive. So maybe your owner just needs to die, and your team will be better. But we're going to take the Colts this week on the Sunday script to beat the dog shit Titans.
Yeah. Lock in the Colts on this one. As Tim was saying, Jonathan Taylor should be in the conversation for the quarterback award. You know, because the best quarterback award, because that's all the MVP races now, which I really think is ridiculous considering the value added to the team from someone like, Saquon last year and now Jonathan Taylor this year. The entire Colts system is working because Jonathan Taylor is playing lights out and they need to game plan around him. And that leaves the door open for fraudman himself, Indianapolis Jones, to just dink and dunk the ball down the field. It's a masterclass on stat padding. I'm not down on the Colts. Guys. No. I am down on Daniel Jones being legit. Everyone is just glazing him, saying he's so legit because they're 6-1. And the reality is that team is being carried by Jonathan Taylor, and it's opening up the game. And as much as you hate him, Shane Steichen has been coaching them pretty well.
I don't hate Shane Steichen. He just should have lost them. He lost them one game.
Yeah.
Because he had 10 players on the field when, what's his name? Poo-Poo Shatwell.
Yeah.
Scored that touchdown.
Which is a rinse.
Right?
Which
and
is
then you allow your rookie kicker to kick a 61-yard field goal because you don't want to run the ball with a minute left and you just pretty much take knees.
Yeah.
And then you get lucked out by ref ball.
Yeah.
So that's my thing on Shane Steichen. Sorry to cut you off there.
Fair enough. Shane Steichen has the offense running smoothly. Daniel Jones is running the system well. I'll give him that. System QB, not as good as Jared Goff, though. And then this is also a divisional game, just for a little devil's advocate. This is a divisional game, so maybe that's why they're minus 14 and not minus 35. But I mean, no, seriously, because I looked it up because I was questioning it last week. I looked it up. The Titans have scored a grand total. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? 6 touchdowns all season. 6.
And one of those was the Cardinals.
Yeah, and one of them was the Cardinals rinsing. So 5. You can count them on one hand. The Titans are just poverty. And I would say that it's a little bit too early to call Cam Ward a bust for, if not anything else, one reason he is the most sacked quarterback in the entire league. So he hasn't really even been given a chance to really show anything because he's just pressure. Colts defense isn't that crazy, but they're going to be able to just outscore them and keep like I said, 6 touchdowns all season against a 6-1 team. Their defense is doing something right if they're 6-1. So, I got nothing else to say about the Titans. This is another team. Bet against them until proven otherwise. We'll lock in the Colts. And now we are going to move into the Steel City, Pittsburgh, taking on Aaron Rodgers, taken on at long last. People have been waiting for this forever. Aaron Rodgers taking on his former team.
What did I say the other week? That the schedule makers really fucked this up.
By not playing at
By
Lambeau.
not playing this at Lambeau
Yeah.
is so dumb, but
Yeah.
I'll let you get into it here.
Yeah, they did fuck that one up, but at least they put it on prime time so everyone can watch and enjoy. The Steelers have been kind of hit or miss this season. Micah Parsons is coming off a phenomenal game. That was the game that we wanted to see the whole time. And he's been having a great season otherwise, but I think he's going to have a little fire under his ass. Everyone's going to be like, we got to beat Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be getting after him unless they double him up like they usually do. It's an Aaron Rodgers revenge game. We'll see if his team sells him. It's been known to happen. And I watched it for 15 years on the Packers, and I watched it on the Jets, and we watched it last night on Thursday Night Rinse. His team just rinsing him.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the ball, the steel curtain is now a shower curtain. They're one of the worst defenses in the league. Packers are probably going to put up a lot of points. So the only real way that I think the Steelers are going to win this game is if they just go blow for blow on offense, kind of like the Thursday night rinse turned out to be. But to Aaron Rodgers' benefit this week, Packers cornerbacks are buns. Absolute buns. They are getting, just torched by Starvin Marvin on the Cardinals. We got two Starvin Marvins. We got Marvin Mims and Marvin Harrison. But, it's Marvin Mims is a little bit shorter, so I think he's hungrier. So we got Starvin Marvin who's lighting them up, and the CBs are buns. So DK might just big body him, take off for another 50-yard catch and stuff. Unless he gets big bodied again, like he did by that little Bengals cornerback, right?
Yeah.
And then Aaron also threw a really, really bad interception that he did not need to throw. So maybe he's losing his touch a little bit. But we know how Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers holds a grudge. He's going to be studying film all night. He's going to be ready to go. He's going to light a fire up under their ass. And I think at home, the Packers coming into town, I think he's going to try and stick one to LaFleur. So we're going to lock in the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers are coming off almost beating the Bengals right on that Thursday night rinse, and that's not Aaron's fault at all. And the best part of that game was Aaron yelling at everyone. His running back throws the ball in the flea flicker, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then his tackles him,
Which was...
no pun intended. And then he's like, "Get the fuck off me!" Right? So Aaron's in a mood right now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with his old grumpy age.
Yeah.
But even at his age, he's a top 10 quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
For sure. Aaron does hold a grudge. That's my biggest thing with this game is that Aaron is going to hold a grudge against the Packers. I don't even think he's really mad at them anymore. I think it's just more so of a storyline thing that he wants the media to talk about, right? And I think he's kind of upset that his house in Green Bay hasn't sold yet either.
Has it? Can we buy it?
It hasn't sold yet.
We're going to put the new studio in there for you guys.
We would love. Oh, then we have to be in Green Bay, and that's not the most fun. Let's put it that way. But the Packers are fantastic this year. Don't get me wrong. I just need to see more. Like
I agree.
I need to.
I agree.
I need to see more. Like I would have loved to see them really beat down on the Bengals. The Bengals kind of hung around in that game for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have really loved to see them go into the red zone and beat down on the Cardinals last week as well. They don't play as well on the road. It's almost statistically just viable at this point to say that.
Here's one thing on that though. The Packers did not get to eat a slice of the Jake Browning pie.
No, they didn't.
And the Cardinals are playing significantly better without the Garden.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
Yes.
without the Garden.
I understand that.
That's a little asterisk, but I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's mostly just the stuff on the road. I'd like for them to play better on the road. Really,
Definitely, I do too. Trust me.
But I think Aaron's just gonna really carry them for the Steelers, and I think it's gonna be a pretty charged up crowd on Sunday night in Pittsburgh. So we're gonna ride the Steelers here, even though this is a pick 'em. It's -3, but that's just a home favorite. But
Yeah.
we're gonna ride with the Steelers here this week on Sunday Night Football on the Sunday Script. And that's gonna take us into the last game, the 13th game on this slate. The Commanders, left hand down, are going into Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. The Chiefs are coming off a pounding to Geno and the Raiders. And Rashee is coming in off his, Rashee Rice is coming in hot off his car accident.
Yeah.
Right? I forgot.
Guy's
What was
a fucking asshole,
What was the
dude.
name of that? I forgot. I keep forgetting the name of that dude on the Raiders that just killed that girl going 200.
Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs. Yeah. He
Henry
pulled a Henry
Ruggs.
Ruggs, except he didn't kill a girl and her child.
Yeah, that guy's an asshole too. Fuck him.
Yeah. So he comes off 2 touchdowns in that win. The defense played stellar, but it's Geno. Geno's just rinsing. And then we get Kenny Pickett. We get 2-glove Kenny in the game.
Whoa. Hold the phone. Eugene threw a career low or season low last week. 0 interceptions.
Congrats.
0 interceptions.
Congrats, Geno. Progress, right? But now Mahomes has weapons, right? Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Marquez Brown, and John Sherman Smith-Schuster,
Yeah.
right? Or Juju Shit-Poopster.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. I like to go by John Sherman Smith-Schuster if you understand how I feel about that. But Commanders are coming off a disappointing loss to the Cowgirls. They're clearly frauds this year. They had a really easy schedule last year, got lucky a shit ton, and then now have to play a first place. Well, no, they got second place in that division last year, but still, it's still a harder schedule this year. And now
Way harder.
And now they want to put them on primetime all the time, right? Because
Yeah.
they won all those games last year. But Jaden gets hurt again, and the defense is a senior home. And they go into one of the toughest places to play, and their schedule gives them no favors. So they might be on their way to 3-7. So we might not be picking the Commanders a lot going forward here.
No.
And is Jaden Daniels the new RG3?
Maybe.
Maybe. We're not there yet, but maybe. We're going to take the Chiefs for the Monday night finisher to completely finish your full moneyline parlay of glory and perfection here on the Sunday script.
Yep. This is the week. It's a lock. Yeah, the Chiefs are definitely back, getting their car accident enthusiast chicken fried rice back. He comes back, has 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. But it is the Raiders. And the Raiders are really, really bad this year. They're not going to win too much more. Jaden Daniels, he's not been playing that great when he's healthy. He's not really even been playing. He just hurt his hamstring on top of his knee, and it's like, what are they going to do? And then they barely did anything against, as we were saying, an allegedly bad Cowboys defense. Did nothing, So I don't really see the Commanders going into Arrowhead, one of the most notoriously hard stadiums to play in the league. The only thing that the Chiefs are missing really at this point is to get Pacheco going, and they're going to be back into their Super Bowl form. So this is a pretty simple one for us. We think the Commanders are going to take a big slide from the NFC Championship last year to, honestly, maybe a sub 500 record.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that, but hammer the Chiefs on this one. And with that, Mr. Nicholas has a fantasy team, and his favorite player, Travis Kelce, only had 54 yards. Time for you to maybe draft another tight end. George Kittle's coming back if he's up on the waiver or something.
I thought you had Tucker Kraft. Why don't you just start Kraft?
You have Tucker Kraft? You've been playing Kelce?
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I have Kraft, but he's kind of back and forth. He either has some points or no points, and we've seen this a lot from the Packers. They kind of move the ball around to all their different tools down the field.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's kind of hard to say when Tucker Kraft is going to go off. On the flip side, Kelce has a good relationship with Patrick Mahomes. Although he's not playing the best and seems to be giving up, he still has the potential to drop some crazy amount of points. Although this week, I in the past I've run both of them, but I hit the quick picks this week, and the NFL wants to sell jerseys, so they obviously put Kelce in there. But going forward, I think I'm going to keep him on the bench, and if he does well, then that's great, but I'm going to trust it to probably
what's going to happen.
else.
You're going to put him on the bench. He's going to go off.
That's
what always happens.
That's what happens.
That's why I don't
fantasize. Yeah, I just gamble.
You guys have fantasy. You fantasy.
Huh?
You fantasy.
I have fantasized.
I've never fantasized.
I have fantasized in the past.
Tim
but
currently fantasizes.
But we're just gonna ride with gambling for now.
Yeah, just hammer Kansas City.
I mean, just hammer Kansas City, and that takes us to the end of the slate. Like I said, 2 months in, which is crazy, and some of you might be worried. What's going to happen when football ends? Don't worry. We have plans. We got stuff going on. This will be a year-round procedure, and we'll have some other focuses other than football. Even though that is our main focus.
I watch football like more than I work at my full-time job.
Good time. Good old moonlighting.
That's how committed I am to you, Scripties.
Yes, we are committed to the Scripties, and we love you for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. And we appreciate you telling your friends, because I know some of you are doing that. So we really appreciate that here on the Sunday Script. With that, we'll get into our takes this week, one of our favorite segments. It kind of gives us a little bit of a platform, like I said earlier, to kind of just vent, maybe, kind of just speak our mind a little bit.
Or really just to talk about anything outside of the league that's not, having to do with the matchups. Because we're always into matchups. But, you like to get some other of your news here. So
yeah.
We'll get it to you.
Yeah, and we'll get into that right now on the Sunday Script.
This episode of the Sunday Script is brought to you by Woodman's Property Management. Are you looking for someplace to live? Do you want to live in the Midwest? Are you looking for something luxurious while still being affordable? Then Woodman's has the property for you. Go ahead online or down in the link below and check out Woodman's Property Management for all your rental needs.
So my take for week 8 here on the Sunday Script is that the Patriots have had an absolute freaking cakewalk so far this year, but yet they have arrived. And Drake May has arrived. You lose to the Raiders week 1, which, looking back, looks awful now. And we picked the Raiders week 1 because we knew Geno was going to have a great game against maybe a fraudulent Patriots team, which we thought at the time, right? And then you beat the Dolphins. You've beaten the Titans. You're getting the Browns this week. I mean, every week it just seems like they're getting the softest teams in the league to play. Oh, but they beat the Bills. They beat the Bills. The Bills beat themselves. Let's point that out here first, okay? They had 23 points, and everyone acts like the offense blew up, and everyone's acting like, oh, Drake May's completion percentage against the Pee Wee Titans, against the goddamn Pee Wee Titans, who only have a win because of Kyler Murray, Garden Gnome, rinsing, and the Arizona Cardinals rinsing. The Patriots have not arrived. The Patriots are a year away, okay? And I'm sorry if I offend some of you scripties by saying that, but we only speak the truth here on the Sunday Script. So that is my week 8 take here on the Sunday Script.
All right. Well, I'll have a less, divisive take, because I'm sure most of you scripties will agree with this. I was watching the Packers game last weekend. I was also watching the Bears play the Commanders in prime time, and there was an awful lot of similarities between the two games, believe it or not. And that was all of the yellow just being thrown onto the field. And I was like, what's going on here? There's just every other play, it seemed like. I turned to Tim. I'm like, am I going crazy? Like, they're throwing every flag. Turned to Nick. I'm like, they're throwing every flag. And then I noticed the real similarity was the officiating crew with the head ref, Alex Moore. And I'm convinced, I've said it before, that Sean Hockley likes to be on TV. But I think Alex Moore likes it even more. Pun intended, because Jesus Christ, dude, we were watching the Packers drive, and every other play was a flag. We were watching the Cardinals drive. Every other play was a flag. The Bears get rinsed on a touchdown pass. It was completely clean because of some just complete bullshit illegal shift call. And outside of the touchdown getting called back, every other play, flag. I'm sick of it. You need to let these guys play, because I told these guys when we were watching the game, I was like, oh, notice how the Packers started scoring and the Cardinals stopped scoring when they stopped throwing flags on every single play? I mean, even the Micah Parsons hip drop tackle. I have seen that tackle 50 times this season alone, and no one's ever called a flag on it. But now, we got the spread. I'm convinced these refs are fucking, betting on the spread or something, man, because at least Alex Moore is. So Alex Moore, he needs to get fucking fired. They're hiring these people off the street. I'm convinced of it. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. They're just, I can be on TV. I'll throw a flag. And that's what they're doing. And I'm over it. I want to see some football. I want to see some people get crushed. And then we're watching the Lions game last night. Jahmyr Gibbs breaks a 70-yard run, and I count 5 fucking holds. But no one throws a flag. There's no consistency. They need to go and do what Nick said: Squid Games, Star Wars clones, refs, and call it a day, because it's terrible this year. So that's my take. Thank you.
And my take this week is I'm tired of seeing the business side of football controlling every aspect of the game. You can see it in ticket prices. You can see it in how the players act, even the concessions at the games. I mean, if you're spending, how much is a beer?
Like $10.
Like $14?
Yeah, it is like $14. It's like a 24 ounce. Still a ripoff.
When do the fans win in a football game? They don't win when they go to the stadium. They watch the refs ruin their teams and their players decide that they're kind of more hooked on the money than the game. I'm tired of seeing it. I feel like a lot of people that play these days go to these colleges, they come out and they think, I made it to the league, I've won. But the older generation didn't have that same kind of mentality. They thought, I'm in the league, now I have the chance to go to the Super Bowl. And they played games accordingly. But now the business side of football is kind of just ruining it, and I'm worried it's going to bring the downfall of football as we know it today.
All right, with that, we will get into the rundown here on the Sunday script for Week 8. Thursday night rinse. We're going to take the Los Angeles Chargers. Jets versus Bengals. We're going to take the Bengals. Giants, Eagles. We're going to fly, Eagles fly. Bears, Ravens. We're going to take the Bears. Niners versus Texans. We're going to roll with the Niners. Browns versus Patriots. We'll take the Patriots. Bills go into Carolina. We're going to take the Buffalo Bills. Dolphins versus Falcons. We're going to take the Atlanta Falcons. Bucks versus Saints. We'll take the Bucks. Cowgirls going to Denver. We're going to take the Cowboys this week on the Sunday script. AFC South matchup, Titans-Colts. We're going to take the Colts. Packers versus Steelers. We're going to take the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. And for the Monday night finisher, we're going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Washington Commanders. And that is your Week 8 rundown here on the Sunday script. As always, we appreciate you joining us. And we hope to see you next week, where you will be significantly richer. And so will we. We'll see you next week on the Sunday script.